Hey everybody, welcome to the newest video in our chess opening survey. I'm excited about the video today. We're moving on to a new subject. We did the Evans Gambit before, and now basically what I've kind of gotten in a groove on here and what I think we're going to continue to do is to show openings that are aggressive and a little bit offbeat, not the main lines for a little while. Just to give you, if you're an aggressive player, you want new, fresh positions, and you don't want to be, going through book lines over and over and over again just to get a fresh game and attack. These are going to be lines that you can play, and that's kind of the style that I have, and these are lines that I've played in tournaments and online many, many times, so I feel comfortable showing these to you guys. So let's dive right into it. One of my favorite openings in all of chess is the Albin counter gambit. And so it starts with white playing the move d4 and black plays d5. And definitely the most popular move is c4 in this position, and you probably will see that most of the time. And so c4 and the move e5 looks very odd. There's a couple reasons why I like this. So first of all, it's a dynamic game where it's very kind of tricky, and I think it's a little bit underestimated from the white players, and black can get, I think, a good position out of pretty much every position that they can face. And the other thing is that the white side of the piece, the white player here shouldn't know this opening as well as they do other mainline c4 openings. Like if you were to play the King's Indian Defense, or the Benoni, or like a Queen's Gambit declined, or a c6 or something like that. They should know those very well, but the Albin counter gambit should be way down on the list of things that they need to learn. So you're probably going to know this better than your opponent, and I think it's going to give you a fresh position and a good position even if they know it well. So let's dive right into it. It's probably going to be 3 videos. We're going to go over today 2 of the replies from white that aren't the best, I don't think, and you can get good attacks. And then later on, we're going to go over a variation where white plays bishop g5 after knight f3, attacking your queen. And we're going to go over variations where white plays a quick a3 and b4 and starts a pawn storm on the queen side here. And we're also going to go over quickly knight f3 and when they fianchetto their bishop here, which is one of the main lines. And then lastly, we're going to go over if they don't want to get into all of the attacking type of stuff, and they just do some trades here in the center early on and just try to get a small advantage going into the endgame. So as I said, let's get rolling here. Our first game, this is the famous trick in the Albin counter gambit that I'm going to show you right away, right off the bat. It's what you're going to want to know, because you can win a game very quickly if you just memorize this. And also it's good to know in general this type of thing. So white here is a 2250 player, and he actually fell into this trap. It will happen from time to time, so you'll just want to remember this. D takes e5 and d4. This is the main line of the Albin counter gambit. And one of the most logical moves that you can think of on the board here is to play e3. And what you're thinking here is, if black exchanges pawns here, you get your bishop out in the game and you're up a pawn. What could be more logical? And if he doesn't, then you're going to exchange here, and you've got these 3 pawns here in the center. So this is actually not a good move, though, because after e3, black has bishop b4 check. And it's not quite obvious yet what the problem is here. And white says, okay, well, I'm just going to interpose with my bishop here, no big deal. D takes e3 and bishop takes b4, and white's thinking, okay, I'm doing fine. I just won your bishop here, what's the big deal? If you take my pawn on f2, I'm just going to move my king up to e2, and it's still going to be protecting my queen, no big deal. E takes f2 check, king e2, and then the big surprise is pawn takes on g1 and promotes to a knight with check. So that's gaining a tempo. And after, so here, one thing to note here, if the rook was to take, then bishop g4 check, winning the queen. So king e2, queen h4 check, king d2. The king is stuck in the center, wide open. This is big trouble for white. Getting more pieces in the game with knight c6. Bishop c3, getting out of the way of the knight. Bishop f5, just developing pieces, and white is in huge trouble here. Just normal moves. I'm just going to roll through this pretty quick because, you know, my computer has black up 9 points here. So, I mean, this is just an onslaught. So we'll just roll through real quick to the finish of this game. Rook hd8 and white resigned. You've got the rooks coming down here on the queen threatening here. So again, that's the trap that you want to remember. If we get into this position and e3, you want to go bishop b4 check, and then you want to take here on e3, and remember after you sacrifice your bishop that you promote to a knight here. So that's one line to remember, and the other line I'm going to go over today is something that is a little bit better for white, but I still really like the attacking chances for that black can get. So I'm going to pull that game up here, new analysis, and I'm going to copy it over. Perfect. So we've got white here is a 2600 player and black is a 2350 player, and black actually wins this game. So we get into our normal Albin counter gambit setup and e4. So this time, you know, white isn't falling for that trap, but they also are trying to really go after you and get a big center here and basically steamroll you. But we do have adequate resources here. Knight c6, developing a piece. f4, building that big pawn center. f6, we're going to break this pawn center down right away. As you'll notice, white hasn't developed any of their pieces yet, and they have a lot of space around their king here that could be weakness. So we're going to go ahead and officially gambit this pawn. Pawn takes f6, knight takes f6, so we have two pieces developed now. And bishop b4 check, knight d2. So the one thing I want you to remember about this e4 line is this square e3. This should be a bullseye for you. This should be jumping off the page. Your pawn is protecting this square, and there's no pieces from the white camp that are protecting it. And so the big move here, knight g4, going into this e3 square, and that is full compensation for this pawn that we've given up. a3, knight e3, attacking the queen. And it's funny here, black's bishop is being attacked and he doesn't even worry about it. He just castles. He's going to get his rook on this file. If white takes this, he's going to take back with the knight, and he's just swarming white right now. White goes ahead and wins the bishop, and black takes back with the knight. Knight d to f3. Knight takes g2 check. Great move here, noticing that if the queen goes over and takes, then this bishop is going to be hanging. Queen takes, knight takes d3 check, king d1, queen e7, getting an eye on this pawn. And so as you can see, like I said, black's down a piece, but white can't castle anymore. This is a beautiful knight, and this queen and the rook are coming down here. So definitely a difficult position for white to play here. This is what you should be looking for when you're playing a gambit. Knight e5, knight takes e5. White tries to get rid of some of the pieces, but he loses material in the process and doesn't really help his position out that much. Bishop e6, getting that last minor piece in the game and allowing the other rook to come into the game. Rook a5, c5, just getting in the way of that so he doesn't have to move his queen. Queen e2, and a beautiful move, d3. putting a wedge in white's position, attacking this pawn, and if white takes, then he's going to have this rook on this open file to worry about. So queen takes d3, rook d8, queen c2, rook f1 check. Black is getting all his pieces in the game. Notice that these two pieces are totally useless, and the king is stuck in the center here. King e2, a nice finish to this game. Rook takes d2, king takes d2. If queen takes d2 there in that position, we had the beautiful bishop takes c4, and the king e3, queen f4 mate was one line. So king takes d2, queen d4 check. Only move is queen d3, queen takes b2, king e3, and queen f2 checkmate. So just a couple quick games to show you the famous Albin counter gambit trap with the e3 line, and then how to get a good attack against this e4 line. So we'll go through the other lines here in the next couple videos, and hope you enjoy this exciting gambit that you can play with confidence against anybody, but especially against club players. Anybody rated under 2200 is very unlikely to know this very well. So look forward to it. Have a great day, everybody. If you want to see me play this live on my stream, please follow me at Salesman Frank here on Twitch. I do viewer opening requests, so you can request to see this live in action, or along with any other openings that you want to see. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.